All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to At Home with Adam, episode 3. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, and I'm so pleased to be back with my friend Amanda Jordan. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing well, actually. How are you?
Good. We have a very special guest today. One of my favorite teachers at Souhegan. I'm very pleased to introduce John Dowd, who is our ninth grade wellness teacher at Souhegan.
I'm speaking to you from my screen porch, which is one of my favorite places to be, and where I've been spending a lot of time lately. And I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for being here. So your class is definitely not your typical like high school gym class. Do you want to explain a little bit what that's about for people who aren't familiar with your class?
Yes, in fact, what you are pointing out, Amanda, is why this whole stay-at-home thing is kind of cramping my style, because I really thrive on being part of students' interpersonal relationships, as far as working in groups, working with ropes and rocks and trees and really moving around. And so it's been a little tricky trying to do this in a remote way. Fortunately, I have wonderful colleagues. I meet every morning with Steve Hansberry and Dave Sachs, and we talk about the way that we're going to do things. And they help me a lot with the technology. When you ask me why I have a class at Souhegan the way I have it, is there's three things that I want to emphasize. And I brought a little visual actually to this discussion. I'm going to see if you guys can see it okay. If you look up, let's see, right behind me, if you'll see an A, B, C, and I want to explain those, is autonomy, belonging, and competency. I like it because it's kind of easy to remember, ABC, and it's really what I think makes for a very healthy person. Is if you look at the way that Adam has led the district through this experience, he said, he has given me and all my colleagues said, you guys, I really want you to be part of this, but I'm going to give you some autonomy, meaning I trust that you're going to figure out how to do the right thing with your students. If he had said, let's say he told everyone exactly what they were supposed to do, he would have removed the autonomy, and we wouldn't have felt that in ourselves, which is very important. And at the same time, look at the belonging. Like, I was invited by Shannon Hargraves to be part of this morning, and just inviting someone to be part of something gives them a sense of belonging. And so here I am, I'm experiencing a sense of belonging in that way. And I'm trying to show you a little bit of that. I know some things, I know what I'm talking about, so I have some competency. Now, the other day, when it was raining sideways, my wife didn't feel like going for a walk, and to tell you the truth, I didn't really feel like going for a walk either. I was thinking, oh geez, how am I gonna deal with today? I made 2 quiches, 1 meatloaf, an apple pie, and a gluten-free apple crisp, okay? Now, if you look at that, if you think about it, I did that all myself, so I had some great feelings of autonomy. I was thinking, okay, I can get up in the morning and I can do something myself that makes a difference. And also, I noticed that my daughters and my wife were really glad. They're like, oh, I'm glad you are here. We get to share, we want to share this, and they enjoy it, and we all have a sense of belonging. We're sharing something. And the competency was, I measured the ingredients, and I kept track of the time that it was cooking and the temperature, and I exercised some competency. So to tell you the truth, I had a great day that day. It was just fantastic. Now I'm hoping Amanda, what I noticed that when you came to my class, that you were ready to really engage, and I get the sense that you're like, okay, what do I need to do to make a difference in this situation? But you came with the belief that you could make a difference. I hope you felt in the way that the class was conducted that you belonged, that you were a real member, you were a member of the group. And I'm hoping that what I noticed was you became a really solid belayer, and you noticed that you were very confident. And so you were able to experience the ABCs of a healthy person. And so, and I feel very fortunate that Souhegan gives me the opportunity to share those things with other people. And I'm hoping that when people think about my class, that what they think about is, geez, I was able to really make a difference. I really felt like I belonged in the group, and I learned some skills that I can take and apply to many situations. So I'm giving you my real philosophy here, but I'm super lucky in that I have a job that gives me a really high level of those things. I get to decide what I teach, so I have a great level of autonomy. I get to be parts of all these groups. Kids come out in the woods and then we do something together. We all belong. And then I walk the halls and people will say to me, hey, I heard about what happened in your class. And it's like, oh, yes, I'm confident. I know what I'm doing. And so makes for a pretty happy person. And so I would wish for everybody that, like when I think about Adam having all this pressure of leading this thing, I'm hoping that what he's experiencing during his day is that he's feeling like, my decisions are making a difference. I can take some control, because God knows there's so many things that are beyond our control right now that we're having to deal with. And that seems to be kind of the theme of this, is big things that are out of our control. But can I still use my intellect and my social skills? Can I make a difference? Does everybody feel like I belong in this situation? Am I supposed to be here? And can I learn from it and get better at it, and practice some skills that make everything better? So I've been thinking a lot while I've been home, and these are the thoughts I've been coming up with.
How is remote learning going for your class? Because I know that's definitely a little bit more complicated than other classes.
It is definitely cramping my style, because I'm a very strong extrovert. Like, seeing your face is so nice, and at the same time,
Yours
I
too,
like
John.
it better when we get to walk by each other in the hall, or that when I see you in class. And so that I'm a happy guy when school's in session, and I'm a pretty challenged guy when it's not, because it doesn't really fit my personality. I'm noticing that some people, they're like, geez, I kind of like this time to myself, and I'm not as stressed as I usually am. I'm more stressed during this, definitely, that I get fed by my experience at school. I like all the smiling faces, and I like the physical aspect of interacting with people, and so this is definitely pushing me. And in a lot of ways, I'm relying heavily on Dave Sachs and Steve Hansberry to give me those three things that I can. My autonomy isn't as high as usual. I'm having to ask for a lot of help, and I'm afraid I'm going to push the wrong button or do the wrong thing, and that's not a good feeling for me. I'm not feeling particularly competent, and I think, but at the same time, humbling can be a good thing. It can develop a sense of appreciation for the people around me, and I suppose what I'm going to say is that, to be honest, my colleagues are really helping me to feel like I belong. When usually at school, I definitely feel like I belong. I feel like I'm making a difference. I know what I'm doing. If you watch me when I'm walking around, I almost always say, where are you going? I can tell you just where I'm going. I can tell you just what I'm going to do, just what I want the day to go like. This is tough.
What are you doing with your ninth grade students to try to keep them involved with wellness?
What they're doing is we're studying both health related components of fitness, and this probably rings a bell from your health class, and also we're going to be working on performance based. In fact, you're getting a sneak preview, because I don't know when this is going to show, but they're going to be one of the next projects that we're going to have freshmen do is they're going to develop their own personal obstacle course out in their yard. And their obstacle course is going to have them demonstrate performance related elements of fitness, like balance and coordination, power. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. And I know that a lot of kids, they're probably really missing their spring sports. And if you think about spring sports, a lot of the time during your practices, you're doing ladders and you're jumping and running and doing a lot of different things. And so we're hoping to kind of give them a little bit of a taste of that. And they're going to make a video, and at least Steve and Dave and I will see their video, but if they're willing to, they'll also share it with their classmates. And so that's part of what we're doing with the kids. And every ninth and 10th grader over the last few weeks just made an exercise montage and with health related components of fitness. So we're relying a lot on people's um, ability to make some decisions themselves about their own exercise with some guidance. But we're really trying to keep kids moving and getting outside.
I know from taking your class that a really big part of it is collaboration and trust. How are you still working on those things in a remote learning environment?
Actually, tomorrow and the next day, ninth graders will be put into breakout rooms. And the theme is going to be that even though we're all stuck at home, it could be worse. And what it is the scenario actually is they're on a lifeboat. Their ship's gone down, they're on a lifeboat, and they're going to have to come up with, they're going to have to prioritize certain items they were able to salvage from the ship before the ship went down. And they're going to need to collaborate and talk a little bit about why do we need this more than that. And so it's our attempt at doing what we would be doing in school, because I know with you, we did the spider's web and we did other balance things, and I'm swinging across expanses into hoops and lots of different challenges, along with the high ropes and the rocks. And when I say that, I automatically think, oh, geez, I wish I was doing that with them. And so I miss that. But we're trying to fit it. What we're realizing is this year's freshmen, semester 2 freshmen are getting a much different experience than the semester 1 kids. And what we're thinking about is the future, and how are we going to make sure that during their sophomore year next year that we get to make up for that they don't. I want them when they leave Souhegan to say, my teachers made sure that even though I didn't get to do the high ropes during the home learning, that we got busy in the fall. We made sure that everybody got to do it. And so we're thinking hard about how to compensate for what's really an unfair aspect of this experience.
Yeah, I know that I used to love doing the high ropes course, and it's definitely something I've missed in the past couple of years. So I think it's really important for the ninth graders to have that experience. And so I'm glad you guys are doing that. What is the importance of staying active in a time like this?
In a very short-term, immediate sense, I'd like to think that most people recognize that they feel better when they move. That if you feel, because it's easy to get down, it's easy to, I watch the news, I listen to NPR, I know a lot of what's happening with people. And a lot of what's happening with people, if you're a sympathetic person at all, is very hard to hear. And I know that it's not exclusively other places. I know there are people in Amherst who have lost their job and who are really concerned about a lot of things. And so stress is high. And so I think that I notice that when I move, I feel better. That's one thing. It tends to do that. And I think that if you look at how far you walk during a regular school day, it's built into your life. And if you look at the sports that you play, and they automatically, if you had a Fitbit on, you'd notice that in the course of living your regular life, you move a lot. But this is a little bit of a dangerous time that I'm concerned about some of my students that they're not moving, and I'm worried for them, because I think that it is, it's a situation where they could really get kind of depressed. And so I'm hoping that they're going to the Google Classroom for their wellness class, but for all Souhegan students, I'm hoping that they're compensating for this situation by upping by getting them some habits of moving. I know like my wife and I would take several walks a day. We make sure we don't go long. We'll give each other a look, and the look is, we've been sitting too much, let's get going. And if you look right behind me here, even if it's raining out, I can jump on that bike right there, and I can get my heart rate up. I got a beautiful view, and I can get on that bike, and within minutes, I can change the way I feel just by really getting my heart rate up. And then I've got some stretching that I do, and it's like, oh, good, now I feel better. But you're right, it does. For some folks, they experience inertia. It's hard for them to get moving. And like one of the big things of this is I swim every day ordinarily. It's my bread and butter. It makes me feel good for years and years and years. I am he who swims every day. And I have certain people that I know just from swimming next to them. And they're some of my closest friends, even though I only see them then. But we've been doing it for years. And suddenly, I can't do it. And it's been tough. I've had to change what I'm doing. And I think that's part of it is, can people adapt? And that's what's been cool about having you, Adam, is that I'm having to adapt to the technology part. And, you'll smile at me when I'll say something about, can it really, can the technology really do that? It's like, yes, sure, I can do that. And so I'm having to, one thing that's nice for me about this situation is it's pushing me to be in the role of a beginner and to not know as much as the people around me, because I'm not a beginner at the ropes course. And generally in class, I'm dealing with a lot of beginners, but I'm not. I mean, look at me. I've been doing it for a long time, and I walk around like I know what I'm doing, and all of a sudden, I'm like a beginner. And in some ways, it's almost like anti-hypocrisy for me. Put me in. Let's see if I can take some of my own medicine and deal with things as, I'm less than a freshman. I'm a total beginner. I don't, because I'm following other people's lead.
So I understand Shannon asked you to do a demonstration for us today. So if you want to kind of start moving towards that, that would be fun.
Okay. Well, let's see how I would do that.
The cool move, Amanda, is we can refer to Shannon as our producer. We can say our producer has let us know.
Our producer.
Yeah, the segment
yes.
she's putting together.
So let me see. I'll take the computer over here. So one thing that I want to show people is, if you're going to ride a bike, if you're going to go for your bike ride, one of the things, in case you haven't learned this before, is you want to tuck your pants on the right side. You want to tuck your pant into your socks so you don't get oil from the chain, or that your pants don't get caught in the chain ring. And so I'm just going to do that 1 second. To be totally honest, if I had amazing internet, then I could take you for a hike. Then I go for a hike. So usually what I do is I head down and I walk around that body of water in that cattail marsh, and across the marsh is an old railroad bed. And so someday they might even make a rail trail out of it. But for now, it's this old railroad bed, and hardly anybody knows about it. And I get to go for long walks in the woods. And I get to walk over streams and see all kinds of wildlife. And that's, in a lot of ways, what I tend to get my exercise. But otherwise, even if it's pouring rain or raining sideways like the other day, I can just come out here. And I've got a setup where I've got a bicycle that is stationary. So now, while I'm talking to you guys, I'm sitting here and I could be getting my heart rate up. Let's see. And what I'll try to do is I change the gears a bit in order to push myself harder. Can you hear the generator from the bicycle right now? And I use different mental tricks to get myself to keep going. One of the things I can do is I'll take a piece of something on National Public Radio, something interesting to listen to, and I'll pick one that's, let's say, it's 10 minutes long. And then I'll see, can I keep up a certain pace? I know that a lot of people have fancy Pelotons. I got this bike at a yard sale along with the generator it's clipped to. Because one way that I find satisfaction is getting things cheaply. I get great satisfaction out of that. But here I am, I'm riding. But I've got a really nice view, fresh air, and I'll ride for a while. Okay? And after I'll do that, what I find is it's a great time to stretch after I've done that. So I'll just come over. And for me, I really like to use chairs a lot of the time, just because my house is full of chairs. I got plenty of chairs. And I'll really stretch a lot after that. And I feel very different right now than I did when I was sitting over there talking to you. And so here I am, I've got a way of changing my situation so easily, didn't even have to leave the room. And I feel so different. In fact, it makes it, you may remember from Dave's class, the talk test. It's a little harder for me to talk, okay? I like to talk, but at the same time, it's good to get yourself in a situation where it's hard to talk. If it's hard to talk sometimes, then it's a good thing. You've got your heart rate up. And so just giving you an example of the kind of things I'm doing during the day. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the show, John. It was really great to talk to you.
My pleasure. I'll see you guys around.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. God, I wish every day we could have John Dowd on the show. He's such a good talker.
Well, I mean, Amanda, he's one of the gems of Souhegan. I mean, he's been
absolutely
there from the beginning and just brings such vitality to the school, into his program that he runs. What a great interview. Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, he's such a good way to start Souhegan. I know I had him first semester my freshman year. I know a lot of people have him second semester, but coming into a new place and then just having a warm, friendly face like John Dowd there is just such a big part of Souhegan and what it's all about. And he's been there since the school started. So he's had every single ninth grader since the school started. And I just think that he's just part of your Souhegan experience. If you don't have John Dowd, you didn't experience Souhegan.
Totally true. Absolutely.
So Adam, do we have any community highlights for this week?
Well, last week was a big week with the governor shutting down school for the rest of the year and then us announcing our end of year plans, which, as you know, May 29th will be our last day of school. And then we're planning a week or so long celebration of events this summer, if we can do them, if it's safe. And those will either happen leading up to a high school graduation date of July 4th or August 1st. And obviously we won't know which date we'll use for graduation. I don't think it'll be June 5th as was originally scheduled. I think July 4th, or really probably more likely even August 1st, will be that date. And leading up to those graduation dates, we're going to attempt to have things like our 8th grade graduation, our musicals, our awards nights, prom, yearbook signing opportunities, all of those capstone events we're going to attempt to have over the summer, if it's safe to do so. And I really hope it is, because I'm pretty desperate to see you all.
One of our fellow seniors, Emma Williams, made a video about a senior's perspective of being a senior in 2020. We'll play that for you right now.
I'm a part of the class of 2020. I'm a senior, or was. This is it. This is the end of our high school career. No more morning announcements, no more Starbucks runs during lunch, no more cafeteria tater tots, no more sports, no more Souhegan. As a freshman, I proudly watched past seniors cross the stage at graduation. I saw them throw their caps up in the air, heard their families loud and clear from the bleachers. I saw them look accomplished. I saw them proud. I couldn't wait for the day when it was my turn to feel that happiness, of knowing that I did it, that after 12 years of working my ass off, that I could finally say, I did it. It's heartbreaking as a senior to look forward to that day for 12 years and none of it be like what you imagined. This last semester that was ripped away from us was supposed to be the time where I got to spend the last few months with my grade. If this whole pandemic has taught me anything, it's to appreciate what you have in the moment. I didn't know that last day was going to be the last day. I didn't say goodbye to my teachers. I didn't hug my friends. Little did I know that I wouldn't be seeing them for months. With that said, I've come to appreciate the time I did spend with my grade. The memories we've made, the time we did spend together, that can't be taken from us. I don't want to remember my senior year as the class that didn't get to do the things the way they wanted or the way they're typically done. We're still going to celebrate our success. We still deserve to feel accomplished and proud for all that we've achieved. We are the class of 2020. have told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name and a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Wish I didn't think I had the answers. Wish I didn't drink all of that glass first. Wish I made it to homecoming, got up the courage to ask her. Wish I would've gotten out of my show. Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought and felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open, and the stars above. Moment frozen, sneaking out and falling in love. Me, you, and that futon, we just begun. On the grass dreaming, figuring out who I was. Those days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. I wish somebody would've told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
Well, it's on SHS Claw. One of the things that we're doing this week on the Claw is we've decided to highlight seniors who are working really hard on their senior projects. So stay tuned on SHS Claw's Instagram to learn more about different senior projects, what they're doing, what they're about. They're really interesting, and a lot of seniors have worked really hard on their projects. So stay tuned for those.
Yeah, I'm super proud of those seniors that are seeing it through to completion and doing their presentation, even though it's not specifically required anymore. That shows a lot of heart and a lot of integrity, and I'm proud of those students who are doing that.
Thank you guys for watching for another week, and we will be back next week with some more community highlights and information about the schools. Thank you.
Thank you all. Take care.